Hey, Brian Wang is with me here today because we want to talk about the most important thing that probably happened all year. And a lot of folks still, I don't think a lot of folks get it yet. Brian, a week ago today, we were getting ready to watch a video that Elon and his team have put together for XAI, not for Tesla, but for XAI. But it was probably as important for Tesla as it is for XAI. And that was to me, a complete turning point. Everything changed last
Hmm.
Wednesday. Is that kind of how you saw it as well?
Yeah, I think it's a particular um, milestone on the way to getting to super intelligence. That we need to have a Paul Revere kind of moment where we need to say, "Hey, super intelligence is coming," and to one convince people that here's why we see that's the case, and then if it is the case, how people need to think differently about business strategy, about investments, and we need to have a book that I think describes that.
A book.
Yeah,
What an
yeah.
idea. Now,
Hmm.
I had promised everybody, I'd promised my family, I had promised my friends, I had promised my readers of other books that I would never write another book because it was so much faster and easier to just do videos. And I had a much larger, usually a much larger audience for the videos than I would for the book. But you and I were chatting one day and we thought, maybe this is the exception
Right.
because of a bunch of reasons. So what were you thinking of? What were you thinking about when we came up with the idea that afternoon?
Well, it's that this is a far more different development. It's not just, we're gonna get some more car models. You're gonna get a incremental improvement in your AI. It's that it's gonna get to a point where it's I would call it a phase change. That when you think of phase changes, one of the most common ones to think of is ice, water in the form of solid ice, and then it becomes liquid, and then becomes gas. And so you have liquid water and you have steam. That those are completely different situations when you have those phase changes. Another example is in the animal kingdom or for living things, where you have a caterpillar and then it becomes a butterfly.
Right.
That because things are so radically different, that people who are planning and thinking about things, well, clearly a caterpillar cannot fly, clearly a caterpillar cannot do things. It's because it's going to go through a phase change and those things will become possible. So I think that kind of thinking um, to rewire brains in terms of like what to expect. If you're still stuck in the old mode, you will completely miss what's going to happen. One, you won't be able to imagine it, and then two, when it does happen, you will be totally unprepared.
Yeah. So I mean, there's going to be a bunch of folks. I got my hair cut yesterday. It's look nice, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, got my hair cut yesterday, and I asked the young lady that was well, not that young, probably late 30s. I asked her, are you using ChatGPT? Is your 12-year-old daughter using ChatGPT? And she goes, "What?"
Hmm. Right.
She didn't even know what I was talking about.
Right.
And yet, I mean, as much as I will understand that for somebody to be in her profession, she doesn't need it. And probably to run her household, she doesn't need it. But even for her, the benefits of having that kind of information and capability at her fingertips would make a difference in her life.
Right. And I think that goes to the point of um, considering how to fully understand and make the shift. It would be like if someone knew the internet was coming, back, becoming popular from what it was in just handling email back in the 90s to what it became in the late 90s, right? That there was ways that you could adjust it to act first to prepare your career, your investments, and other things there. And even as it was happening, like I was living in Silicon Valley, I knew about the companies as they were coming up. but I was not changing my thinking to say, hey, that Google company, I need to invest in them, right? Like I even within a conference where I met Sergey and Larry before they became the thing, right? It was like, oh yeah, we have some staff thing. Oh yeah, that's very nice. Hope you do well. It's like they're like written in front of me, and they completely invest. And then like I knew that, you know, I was shifting from Google over to Yahoo, but I did not think, hey, maybe I should invest in Google instead of Yahoo, right? So that goes to that you have being prepared to think differently. And then for the person who's um, cutting your hair or something like that, she's like, oh, well, I don't have to worry about it. It's like, but then you're gonna buy shares or buy invest in a some fund that is not going to do well if by the things you don't know. Like the things you don't know about can hurt you,
Right,
right?
right, right. So while this book will not be designed for my hairdresser, it will be designed for everybody that is currently in a white collar job. Most people that are in blue collar jobs who are working in factories, working in wholesale distribution centers, working in retail, because all of those are going to be impacted dramatically. It is going to be for all investors. We're very much focus is going to be on investors. But you know what my favorite part is going to be?
What part of that mean?
I'm going to make a promise for everybody that reads this book that you will, when you walk into any room, I don't care what room you walk into, you can walk into, a group of friends at church, a group of friends down at the lodge, a group of friends in some kind of a business meeting. I don't care. The Chamber of Commerce, every room you walk into, by the time you finish this book, you will be able to talk intelligently about every aspect of AI, the entire, from the energy input to the
Models.
output, the kind of
Yeah.
output that we've just seen in the last couple of days
Yeah.
with an animated young lady
Right.
who's able to engage with you as your companion.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We'll cover all the major points. And of course, we will have updated YouTube videos and websites and other stuff to continue to fill in as things develop. But we want to create a framework understanding, and we'll involve other experts who will contribute. Many of the people who Randy does the videos with, and I've contacted other thought leaders in AI, and hopefully they will participate as well. Perhaps some VCs and other things. So we'll get um, a broad range of perspectives along with our own.
Yeah, we have 8 individuals who are already signed up to be contributing authors to the book. Brian and I will write most of the content, and we will oversee the rest of the writing. One of the things about my books, and I'm not bragging or complaining here, a lot of people over the years have said, Randy, your books are okay. I like your books well enough, but they're just common knowledge. And I'm like, good. And I'll be the first to admit that what I usually do in a book is I grab knowledge that's already out there, that I'm not inventing anything new. I'm not trying to create anything. But what I do is I take it and I repackage it into a language that I think you guys understand. That's why you listen to Brian's show. That's why you listen to my show, because we're bringing it to you in a language that's understandable. Well, that's going to be what we're going to try to do in the book with help, not only from those maybe 10 authors, but we're also going to, what's our other plan there, Brian, that'll be kind of fun?
Um, I think you skipped over to something I'm not totally aware of. So explain what
Yeah,
you
you're totally aware of it. No, we said that we've told every one of the authors we want them to use Grok,
Oh
preferably
yeah. Oh yeah,
other
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
LLMs. Yeah, we want them to use other LLMs. If
Yeah.
if they want to write the entire chapter, it's still their chapter, and they better double check it and triple check it and make sure it's right. But if they want
Right.
to write the whole thing using an LLM, that's fine.
Yeah.
Or if they just want to write the chapter, have Grok come in and do a rewrite and make sure all the stuff is right.
Yeah.
But
But
that's
it'll be AI assisted, right?
AI assisted. Yes.
Right. So I'll be applying that in the research phase. I'll try to synthesize it, go through multiple times. How I use it as to bounce ideas back and forth to enhance, deepen, and make sure nothing's missing on that. But I also have my own difference of perspective, which will be in part of it, where I'll, be putting out here's why I think how to view it completely differently. Like I said, the phase change thing is something that is a perspective that um, I have that I will relate to historical examples and stuff. We'll discuss it with some of our other experts to say, here's how I view it, and here's how it could be useful for predicting things. Um, an example I want to give describing that is like if you look at, say, NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA went up, 1,000 times in stock price from the day it started off with the early GPUs. And then we did it for video games. That was the first market. Then they got phase change where it got used for crypto mining, but that was kind of like a volatile kind of a relationship where it could be boom and bust kind of thing. So the price went up, but kind of, you know, in a very chaotic way. And then they went the phase change to the AI boom, and then there've been, booms and busts within that as well. So um, for these technological companies with leapfrogging and phase changes, I think that difference of view, and we can look at historical examples of NVIDIA, Amazon, Apple that show that these phase change things happen for technology companies, and I think it will continue to happen. Like again, it goes to the view that people think things don't change when things are completely different, and you need to apply that. So there will be enhanced and novel ideas that will be a key part of what we're doing.
And then usually it takes me, I usually figure, in fact, I used to say to my family, okay, it's going to take me the next 6 months to research this book, and then it'll take me 2 or 3 months to write the book, and then it'll take another month to get all the editing, and or maybe 2 months to get all the editing. In the meantime, I got to go find a publisher, and blah blah blah. I mean, you have all these things you have to do, so you're maybe from end to end, you're about a year. Well, in the world of AI, one of the reasons I was even willing to contemplate another book at this time is because Brian and I have set ourselves a goal of having this book ready to go 2 months from basically today. So
Hmm.
we're hoping to publish on September 15th. And it'll be, and believe me, it's going to be chock full of phenomenal kinds of information, useful stuff. I mean, useful, again, one of the complaints about my book, Randy, your books are so practical. So,
Hmm.
so we intend this to be practical. We want it to be something where you'll be able to go, oh, I can use that. Oh, I can use that. Or, oh, that's useful for me in terms of my decisions with regard to investing, my decisions at the office, my decisions at home, my creative decisions. Maybe you're creative and you do writing
Hmm.
or you do art or you do something, and it'll be useful for all of those categories.
Yeah, it's something where whether these changes are so huge, you have to look at it in terms of like how do you protect yourself, how do you take advantage of it. There will be winners and losers, and that's what we're looking to do is to help the readers become winners in what's happening.
And my last book, when I wrote the Elon Musk mission, I had a hope. I even expressed it to some people that I would be able to come out with a second edition or a third edition and keep it updated, keep it fresh, keep it useful. Didn't turn out to be the case for a number of reasons. It was way more complicated than I thought to do that, but that has changed. So Amazon now allows you to do fairly substantial updates to the book, and it's easy with the AI. It's so easy to make the changes. You're not going back through entire rewrites and all that. So my goal again this time will be, because this is going to be such breaking information, such immediate. It's going to be like, that's another reason to do it in a short period of time, is it's going to be like the news. Okay. And so my hope would be that all of our authors will be able to kind of notice that their chapter needs updating, and every 90 days or something like that, that we will try to come out with a current version, and put that out at a good price. Yeah, what else, Brian? Anything else on the list of things that are
I
important?
think I think a lot of things that are in development as we get this going, and we'll be updating um, the development of the book, like our journey over the next 2 months. We'll have updates in regards to that. We may, release certain key sections to get people a preview of how this is going.
Now, here's where you might want to contribute. You might want to participate. No, there's no money in it. All there is glory. You want to do stuff for glory, right? Anyway, one of the things that is very, very important today in the kind of writing that we're going to be doing, and it's been true for my last about 5 books, is we need readers. We need people that are willing to read the book before it comes out, go through it and say, hey, I noticed this problem, or here's an error in your thinking. Here's an error in logic, whatever. Just go through it and make any kind of response. It could be just you left out a period in the sentence. And while it isn't as important anymore to have people do, tight editing of punctuation and whatnot, a lot of my readers last time definitely did that. I got lots and lots of great thoughts back with regard to small punctuation errors. But so if you're interested in that, put it in the comment below or DM Brian or me on X and let us know that you'd be interested in being a reader. And we're looking for, and basically we can take as many readers as there are interested parties. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So getting this more organized and more of a community crowd effort as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay. So there you are. You've you're the first to know. I mean, we did kind of mention it the other day in one of our videos, but this is the first time we've talked about it in detail. It's going to be named something along the lines of artificial superintelligence, and then the subtitle will be The Winners and Losers, or Winners and Losers, or something like that. Or maybe it'll turn out to be something entirely different. But for now, that's the concept. We'd be interested to know what you think of the title. Put that in the comments as well.
Yep. Looking to get people engaged and getting your input as much as possible. Be very helpful.
All right. Well, that's all we got for right now. If you haven't already watched it, Brian, once again, we gave you 2 doses on the same evening. We gave you the regular, good news Wednesday. Brian was just on that. There's the card. Go back and check it out. And then this second opportunity, 2 for 1, 2 in one night. All right, Brian, thanks so much as always for jumping on, and we will. It's been great talking to you folks.
Thank you.